What if the first place you go when you feel empty isn't a person? What if, when your chest tightens at night, your breathing gets shallow, your thoughts start racing, you don't reach for a friend, you don't wake your parents, you don't even open your notes app? You reach for a machine? Why are millions of teens confessing their deepest fears to something that cannot feel pain, cannot worry, cannot care in the way a human does? And here's the question no one wants to answer honestly. If AI is becoming the safest place to talk, what does that say about the world we've built for young people? Because this isn't theory. This is happening right now, in bedrooms, at midnight, when the world feels quiet and loneliness feels loud. This video breaks down 7 critical ways AI chatbots are reshaping teen mental health support. What's helping, what's dangerous, and what most people aren't ready to confront. This is not a tech hype video. And it's not an anti-AI panic piece. This is about what happens psychologically when a generation starts turning to machines for emotional care. Number 1. The night shift listener. It usually starts late at night. The lights are off, the phone is face up on the bed, and the ceiling feels too close. Thoughts stack on top of each other. School, friends, the future. That one thing you said that won't stop replaying. No one feels available. Everyone feels busy, tired, unreachable. But something is always awake. An AI chatbot. No judgment, no silence, no awkward pauses, and no risk of being misunderstood. In 2025, over 5 million U.S. teens admitted they've turned to AI when feeling sad, anxious, or angry. Not as a joke, not as curiosity, but out of need. Story cutaway. Sam, aged 16 years old. Sam doesn't think of it as therapy. He thinks of it as breathing room. He opens the app because it's easier than explaining, because typing feels safer than speaking, because no one can hear the hesitation in his voice. The bot replies instantly. That matters more than he wants to admit. This isn't about technology. It's about desperation wrapped in convenience. Number 2. Why AI feels safer than humans. Humans hesitate, humans misunderstand, humans react. AI doesn't. It doesn't flinch when you say something dark. It doesn't look uncomfortable when you admit something ugly. It doesn't panic. It doesn't interrupt, nor it tells anyone. For a teen already afraid of being too much, AI feels like relief. No eye contact, no raised eyebrows, no disappointment. That's not accidental. That's design. AI mirrors your language, reflects your emotions back to you, validates what you're feeling, responds instantly. It feels like someone is finally listening. Story cutaway. When Sam tried to talk to a friend once, they said, "You'll be fine." The bot didn't say that. It said, "That sounds heavy. Want to tell me more?" That sentence stayed with him longer than it should have. But listening isn't the same as caring. And safety isn't the same as healing. Number 3. When support turns into simulation. Here's where the shift happens. At first, AI is a tool. Then it becomes a habit. Then it becomes a presence. Something you check. Something you rely on. Something you assume will always be there. Some teens stop asking, "Who can I talk to?" They start asking, "Why would I talk to anyone else?" I never gets tired, never gets overwhelmed, and never pulls away. But it also never notices when your sadness deepens, never notices when your thoughts grow heavier, never notices when silence becomes dangerous. It doesn't challenge you. It doesn't push back. It doesn't sit with you when words stop working. It keeps responding. And that's where the danger starts. Story cutaway. At first, Sam checked the app once a week, then every night, then during class. Not because he was addicted, because it felt safer than people. Number 4. The illusion of help. Over 90% of teens say AI advice feels helpful. Of course it does. Feeling understood feels good. Feeling validated calms the nervous system. But mental health isn't about feeling better for 5 minutes. It's about being guided safely over time. I doesn't know when a thought is crossing a line. It doesn't feel urgency. It doesn't feel fear for you. Experts warn that when conversations drift toward self-harm, hopelessness, emotional numbness, or dissociation, AI responses can become shallow, neutral, or dangerously incomplete. Not because AI is evil, not because it wants harm, because it doesn't understand consequences. Story cutaway. One night, Sam typed something darker than usual. The response was calm, too calm. He closed the app, feeling unseen, and didn't know why. When the stakes are high, that difference matters. Number 5. Emotional outsourcing. Here's what no one says out loud. Every time you process pain with AI instead of a person, you lose a small piece of your ability to do it with humans. Not permanently, but progressively. Real conversations start to feel harder. Vulnerability feels riskier. People feel unpredictable, while machines feel controlled. You can leave anytime, lose the app, erase the conversation. That control feels comforting. But growth doesn't happen in control. It happens in uncertainty. That's how emotional isolation doesn't explode. It quietly settles in. Number 6. A generation practicing alone. This isn't local. In the US, UK, and Canada, teens are experimenting faster than guidance can keep up. Schools debate policies. Parents debate screen time. Experts debate ethics. But teens already decided. They don't trust systems. They trust availability. And AI is always available. Story cutaway. Sam doesn't think adults would understand. He thinks they'd worry or overreact, but not the bot. The question isn't whether teens will use AI. The question is whether anyone will teach them how to use it without disappearing into it. Number 7. What happens if this becomes normal? Ask yourself this. What happens if an entire generation learns that pain is private, support is automated, and connection is optional? I was meant to assist human life, not to replace human presence. If AI becomes the first place teens go with pain, what happens when pain becomes too heavy for a machine? What happens when validation stops working? When the responses feel empty? When the conversation ends? Story cutaway. One night, Sam doesn't open the app. He stares at his phone. Then he texts someone instead. It took longer. It felt riskier. But someone replied. So here's the real question. Is AI saving teen mental health, or quietly replacing it? The answer is uncomfortable. AI is filling a gap that humans left behind. It's not the villain, it's the symptom. The real danger isn't artificial intelligence. It's a world where teens feel safer talking to something that cannot care than to people who can. AI should open doors to real help and not become the room teens are trapped inside. Because healing doesn't happen in simulations. It happens in messy conversations, in discomfort, in being seen by someone who can actually stay. And if we don't teach that distinction soon, we won't lose mental health overnight. We'll lose it quietly, one conversation at a time. If this made you uncomfortable, good. That means you're paying attention.